Jack and Dave rolling, boots on the ground. Big Rooster Media making their rounds, tackling water wars rights in a...
Hey, what's up, Klamath Falls? This is Mike, and it's just me this week. So Dave and his wife are off enjoying Puerto Vallarta. I'm sure having a good time down there. I myself just got back from a 4-day motorcycle trip. Really hot in places, but had a great time with some friends. And so you get me this week. And I want to start off by clarifying something. I kind of went on a rant last week about the East Klamath County Safety District and why it may or may not, my feelings on why it got voted down by 78.5% of you guys. I want to state I'm not anti-law enforcement. We need police officers, we need sheriffs, deputies, whatever title they go by. It's a necessary part of society. However, where my issues start to come in is when those positions aren't, I don't want to put it, when I'm going through a school zone and I'm expected to do 20 miles an hour, but there is a law enforcement vehicle in front of me, and I cannot tell you guys how many times this happens. They're going through at 35, 40, sometimes I've seen 45 miles an hour. And how do I know they're going 45? Well, if they're going to go through it at 45, so am I. And please don't pull me over, because it probably won't go well for me. I'm just going to be honest. I'm more than happy to share my opinion if you're going to ticket me for doing the exact same thing that you were doing. Anyway, that being said, nobody's above the law. If it's an emergency, yeah, I get it. If you're just going home for lunch or just cruising the neighborhood, there's no reason for it. You're not above the law. You should be setting an example of following the law, and I expect that from folks in that position. So it starts off with little things like that, but it leads up to things like people that have been victims of crimes, maybe not violent crimes. And I get violence should probably be, not probably, it should be the forefront, okay? If people are in harm's way, that needs to be dealt with. The same side, though, there are people that financial ruin can hit a lot of people really easy. If you have your vehicle parked out in front of your house and somebody plows into it and totals it, and you can't get a police report or a phone call from the police to deal with your insurance and end up paying out of pocket for that, even though they know who hit your truck, well, you know what? That ain't right. You should have that information. If somebody hijacks your deceased mother's estate and you as a law enforcement person find the daughter of that person to be not to your liking, it doesn't matter. You still have a job to do, a responsibility. Just because that person doesn't live in Klamath County doesn't mean that they're not paying taxes here on property they still have here. It doesn't mean that people like me who live here and feel like I have a vested interest in being represented by law enforcement that wants to do their job is letting me down. That matters. I vote, I pay taxes, and I am very much an advocate of sharing the word when somebody does something good. And I'm also, if you haven't noticed on this program yet, I'm also an advocate of letting you know when people aren't doing what they should be doing. And man, I had high hopes for the new sheriff's administration here in town. So far, I've been sorely disappointed. I've reached out to this administration. I've reached out to the Caber administration. And don't get me wrong, I don't have delusions. I know I'm not ABC or CNN or Fox or whoever. I am a small town YouTuber. But a lot of you seem to have interest in some of the stories that affect or that are affected by this, like the Gurlette case. Um, there's a lot of you that follow that story, and that tells me that you are as concerned as I am. And I'm assuming that a lot of you that have those concerns probably live here and vote also. And I'm not one of those people that you can treat me like garbage for 3 years. And then when it's election time, you flip the switch and hope that everybody forgets everything that you neglected the previous 3 years during an election year. Because I won't, and will do my best on this program to make sure the population won't. And the best way to fix that would be to just, like I say, I've been half dozen times trying to get a response. I want to share the sheriff's side of the story or the PD side of the story. I want to hear the judges or I know the judges and attorneys are kind of walk a fine line there. They can't really reach out. I would like to give all sides a fair shake, but apparently they don't want to take it, and that bothers me because it kind of makes me feel like I get painted in a bad light, like I am against them. And in some ways, maybe I am. I don't know, but I would just if there's nothing to hide, why not talk? So, and that kind of leads me to my other little rant here, and then I'll keep it as short and sweet as I can for you guys today. But division, and not talking mathematics, but division. And whether it is small town politics like we have here, whether it's the national stage, whether it's the world stage, division is your enemy. And I don't care what side of the aisle you stand on. I don't ever recall talking with friends or acquaintances or whatever going, yeah, we should go to war with this country because I don't like what they did, or we should take over this state because I don't like what they did. I've never met somebody that was an advocate for war or anything like that. Well, I can't say that. I've met a few actually, but for the most part, it makes no sense for us to exist, cohabitate, whatever you want to call it. I won't say coexist. But there needs to be a dialogue. There's no person on the left or the right that is 100% right all the time. And we need to stop being so dead set on no matter, that's my guy or girl or whoever, and I don't care what they do, it's 100% right, and I'm not going to ever call them out on anything that I feel is wrong. That's where we fail ourselves. We deserve to have a voice in a constitutional republic, which is what we are, not a democracy. We have a voice, and we've lost it. We are so quick to pick fights on Facebook or Reddit or wherever, whatever your social media of choice is. Everybody's an expert. Everybody knows everything about anything that there is to know, and it's not true. And if we could just, and I really feel like this stuff is planted in us. I'm not going to go deep state necessarily on you, but there is evidence to show that there are programs that were developed in the 50s, 60s, and I'm sure it hasn't stopped, to do just that and to keep us divided. Because if the whole country, the population here, say even 80, 70% of us, we're all on the same page, man, you talk about making some changes and getting them done nationally. I guess what I'm just getting at is don't be so bullheaded that you won't at least listen to somebody else's side of the story. You might not agree with it. They might not agree with yours, but if you have a conversation, you can either respect each other's right to disagree, or who knows, maybe you find some common ground and and you both walk step for step in the same direction. So just I'd like to see more of that. It would be a great thing. It's something I'm working on myself. Um, these days, I used to be pretty bullheaded about my views. I still feel very strongly about the directions and the things that I'd like to see done in this country, and the directions that I'd like to see it go. But I am more than happy to have a dialogue. We've had people on the show that I may or may not have agreed with their views or their opinions. I don't want my political leanings to be a factor on this program. I want everybody to feel like they have a voice. That's what this is about. I did this to try to make an influence to make Klamath Falls a little bit better place, because I got tired of hearing people, mostly younger, but not always, just talk about, oh, it's horrible here, and wish I could get out of here. And well, as somebody that moved here from somewhere else, um, I think it's really easy to overlook what a good thing we have here or could have here. There's a lot of potential for Klamath Falls and Klamath County. It's a beautiful place to live. And man, if a lot of us could just work out our differences, get on the same page, if we could get those that are running the city and county to just open up and hear what we have to say, and maybe talk to us once in a while, since we do vote for them, I think it would make things a lot better. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Just wanted to share some thoughts with you guys. That might not be the most succinct way to put things, but just a little window into my mind, if you will. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And if not, sorry I wasted your time. And Dave and I will be back with a little more involved program next week. And then a reminder that in end of the month, we're going to have Andrew Nichols, Commissioner Nichols, back on the program. And we'll see how his first 6 months in the hot seat there at the county commissioner's office is going for him, and what his visions are, and what's happened that maybe has caught him off guard or whatever. We'll have a good conversation with Andy. It's always a pleasure to have him on here. We really cannot express how much we appreciate him taking his time to do the show, and looking forward to that. But in the meantime, we'll have some more content for you guys. There's a lot going on, city and county wise, and we'll keep you up to date on it. All right. Well, thanks a lot, you guys. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you again next Tuesday. Thanks.